Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today we're diving deep into the incredible story of a humble 1976 United States 1-cent coin that shocked the world by being valued at $16 million. The United States penny, officially known as the 1-cent coin, has been part of American currency for over 2 centuries. By the 1970s, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for decades, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1976 penny wasn't designed to be special. It wasn't a commemorative release like the bicentennial quarter, half dollar, and dollar coins of that year. In fact, over 4 billion of them were minted, just another year, another batch of change. People spent them on candy, bus fares, newspapers, never realizing that some of these coins would one day become priceless, but in that ocean of copper, a few coins stood apart. To understand why, you need to step back into the mid-1970s. The US economy was unstable, inflation was rising, and copper prices were unpredictable. The mint had experimented with different metals and planchets, and while the official 1976 penny composition was 95% copper and 5% zinc, some test strikes and rare minting errors slipped into circulation. A handful were struck on different metal blanks, others with double die features, and an ultra-rare few had a distinct finish unlike anything else. The design was the classic Lincoln cent, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, and Frank Gasparo's depiction of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But for certain 1976 pennies, the details were sharper, the luster was unusual, and the strike was flawless. These coins stood out to trained eyes. And one of them would make history. This coin, later nicknamed the 16 million cent, was found decades later by a casual collector who simply liked to check bank rolls for interesting finds. According to the story, they purchased a sealed roll from a small-town bank, opened it at home, and noticed one coin gleaming brighter than the rest. Intrigued, they sent it for professional grading. When the results came back, even experts were stunned. It was a 1976 penny in virtually perfect MS-70 red condition, struck on a rare transitional planchet. Such perfection is almost impossible. Even coins straight from the mint usually have tiny scratches from bulk handling. But this one? It looked like it had been minted yesterday. Here at Hidden Coins World, we live for these discoveries. This is the dream every collector chases, the moment you realize the coin in your hand is unlike any other. As word spread, excitement turned into a global bidding war. Collectors from the US, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East wanted it. Museums made offers. Private investors offered fortunes. What started as a coin worth a penny quickly drew offers in the millions. At the auction, the atmosphere was electric. The bidding climbed higher and higher until finally the hammer came down at an astonishing $16 million. A single cent had become one of the most valuable modern coins ever sold. It's a story that captures the magic of numismatics, the idea that treasures can hide in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice. And here's the best part, this coin story means there might still be others out there. Somewhere in a coffee can, in a desk drawer, or sitting unnoticed in your change, there could be another 1976 penny just as rare. That's why seasoned collectors always say, check your change. Because history and fortune sometimes come in the smallest packages. Top 2, today, the 1980 United States of America 1-cent coin, a small, copper-plated piece of history that has become the subject of curiosity, speculation, and sometimes even disbelief. At first glance, it may look like just another penny, the kind we see jingling at the bottom of drawers or rolling around in car cup holders. But for those who know its story, this coin can be something far more valuable, both in terms of money and the tale it carries. Today, here on Hidden Coins World, we are going to dive deep into this incredible journey, where a tiny 1-cent piece could, under the right circumstances, be worth a staggering $30 million. The year 1980 was an intriguing time for the United States Mint. It was an era of transition, the country was shifting in economic direction, inflation was a hot topic, and changes in coinage materials were on the horizon. The Lincoln cent had been in circulation for over 70 years by then, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. By 1980, the design still featured the familiar profile of Lincoln on the obverse, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, stood proud, a symbol of the nation's respect for its 16th president. Every detail, from the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," to the year 1980, just below Lincoln's profile, held both historical and patriotic meaning. What most people didn't realize back then was that the cent was undergoing subtle but important changes. In 1982, just 2 years later, the U.S. Mint would switch from making pennies out of 95% copper and 5% zinc to a mostly zinc composition with a thin copper coating. That means the 1980 cent was among the last solid copper coins, a detail that, for collectors, makes it special. Solid copper cents are heavier, richer in tone, and age with a distinctive patina that gives each coin unique character over time. If you hold a 1980 penny in your hand today and feel its weight, you're holding not just money, but a piece of American industrial history. The minting process for the 1980 penny was anything but simple. Billions were produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The Philadelphia mint coins bear no mint mark, the Denver coins carry a small D under the year, and the San Francisco coins, made for proof sets, have a sharp, clear S. But among these billions of coins, mistakes sometimes happened, and it's these rare errors that can turn a humble penny into a life-changing treasure. Imagine a coin struck slightly off-center, or with a double die error where the inscriptions appear doubled. Such mint errors, combined with pristine condition, can make a coin's value skyrocket. In the world of rare coins, condition is king. A circulated penny, even from 1980, might only be worth its face value unless it's an error coin. But an uncirculated or proof coin, preserved perfectly in its original mint luster, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity. Now, here's where the legend of the 1980 penny takes an incredible turn. Stories have emerged of certain rare variations, possibly from experimental strikes or mysterious mint mishaps, that have fetched unimaginable sums at auction. One such tale, whispered among collectors and shared across forums, tells of a unique 1981 cent piece with an extraordinary minting anomaly, a coin that allegedly sold for a jaw-dropping $30 million. Whether you believe in the exact details or not, one thing is certain: in numismatics, history and rarity often collide to produce unbelievable results. Think for a moment about the journey of such a coin. Struck at the mint over 4 decades ago, it enters circulation quietly, maybe tucked into a cashier's till, slipped into a child's piggy bank, or lost between the cushions of a couch. For years, it travels unnoticed, handed from person to person, a silent witness to millions of small transactions. Then, one day, someone looks a little closer. They notice the detail, the shine, or perhaps the strange doubling in the letters. They consult an expert, send it for grading, and suddenly, what was once just a penny is recognized as a once-in-a-lifetime find. The grading agencies, like PCGS or NGC, encapsulate it in protective cases and assign it a grade, mint state 68, perhaps even higher, and in that moment, the coin becomes a superstar in the collector's market. The beauty of coin collecting is that these discoveries can happen to anyone. You don't have to be a professional numismatist to stumble upon a hidden gem. In fact, countless stories exist of people finding rare coins in pocket change, in jars kept by grandparents, or even buried in old furniture. This is why, here at Hidden Coins World, we always encourage our viewers to look closely at every coin they come across. You never know what history, what rarity, or what fortune might be sitting in your palm. The 1980 penny is also a window into American culture at the time. Ronald Reagan was on the campaign trail, the Cold War was still very real, and everyday Americans were feeling the pinch of rising prices. Yet even in those uncertain times, the humble penny continued to serve as the smallest denomination of U.S. currency, a reminder that even the smallest unit had value. There's something poetic about that. The idea that a tiny coin could one day be worth millions mirrors the belief that small beginnings can lead to great outcomes. When evaluating a 1980 penny, collectors consider several factors: the clarity of the strike, the absence of scratches or nicks, the brightness of the luster, and any unique errors. Some pennies from that year display fascinating doubling on the date or inscriptions, while others have die cracks or even planchet flaws. In the hands of a collector, these imperfections are not defects, they're unique fingerprints that make a coin stand out. Of course, the most jaw-dropping part of this story is the valuation. How could a coin with a face value of 1 cent be worth $30 million? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, historical significance, condition, and the market's willingness to pay for something truly unique. In the high-stakes world of rare coin auctions, bidding wars can push prices into the stratosphere. Wealthy collectors, driven by passion, prestige, and the thrill of owning something no one else has, are willing to pay sums that seem unimaginable to the average person. The $30 million penny is a testament to that reality, a perfect storm of circumstance and desire. As we reach the end of this journey, think about what this means for your own coins. That jar of change sitting on your kitchen counter. It might hold nothing more than loose cents, or it could hide a treasure. The 1981 cent coin story is a reminder to be curious, to look closer, and to never underestimate the value of what seems ordinary. For in the world of coin collecting, the ordinary can become extraordinary in the blink of an eye.